Okay, everybody, here we go. It's me, Gregory Mannarino. Thursday, October 31st, 2024. It's Halloween. Will it be a trick or a treat? More than likely, a trick. We're all being lied to. We're being deceived on every freaking level, and it's really revolting to me anyway. And we got a lot of stuff to talk about this morning. Pre-market report. Let's start off with this. I want to talk about my Eurozone friends before we touch on what's happening here in the United States. So we found out that, no one saw this one coming. Unexpected, of course. Eurozone inflation picks up. Really. You know, honestly, when do you believe central banks in this case, and our politicians, any one of them, are going to be held to account for the lies that we have all been told? Temporary, transitory, it was going to go away. Now, with regard to news here, with regard to inflation, this is literally breaking, so I did not get a chance to make a printout for you, but let's talk about that. So core inflation came in higher than expected. Now, interestingly enough here, then in the next sentence, what they throw out is, guess what? Consumers are spending more. This means they're doing fine. Now, we have inflation rising. So, does it make sense to you that consumers have to pay more? Yes, that's why consumer spending is rising. But you see, they can't tell you that. They have to twist it. They have to trick you into thinking, well, hold on a minute. People are out there, they're spending more. Meanwhile, real income came in flat. What people are earning, flat. But they're spending more because they have no choice because inflation continues to rise. And let me tell you something. You know this already. With regard to the Eurozone numbers, with the numbers they're floating out here in the United States, they're all fake. It's all propaganda to allow central banks to, continue to cut rates, destroy the global economy, devalue the currency, wipe us all out. But again, where's the accountability? Nowhere. Zero. Anyway, look, man, we have more stuff to talk about. There's something interesting going on, and you know about this already, but I want to touch on it. Anyway, let's start off with this. So here's the morning bid. Mega caps are spooked on world bonds are on edge. The bond market, let me explain this to you in case you don't know or if you're new here. It's a time bomb. It's ticking louder and faster. And let me just show you what this looks like. Going back to the MMRI this morning. Will you just pay attention to this sell-off? Will you look at that? It's unprecedented. Since the MMRI's inception, we haven't seen anything like this. We all understand what's going on here. Tell Greg Mannarino one more time, because you see, it's early in the morning and maybe my brain isn't functioning well, but which entities right now are buying all the debt? Not only are they buying all the debt, but they're issuing more debt on a scale we've never seen before. Bing, bing, bing. Yes, that would be central banks. People, look, man, the mechanism is self-feeding. And again, there's no accountability. As central banks are in here, artificially suppressing rates, you got puppet one here in the United States and puppet two. I'm talking about Trump. I'm talking about Kamala selling you and the world the Fed's plan here, the central bank's plan. As a matter of fact, think about it. I haven't put it together like that. We now have in the United States, the laughing stock of the world, of course, two puppets selling what central banks want to achieve, that is, artificially suppressed rates, currency devaluation, and economic destruction. Imagine the choices that we have. We have no choice. You all know that. But this is what we have, the games. This is why we're being tricked here. It's no treat on Halloween. We're being tricked by two creatures that are not even freaking human, but that's a whole other thing. No one's talking about this. What's happening in the debt market is being clearly reflected here in the MMRI, and it is not pretty as central banks fulfill their goal. And this morning, on the back of, look, man, clearly we're seeing instability in the debt market. This up and down movement here in the debt market. This is not normal. The debt market is supposed to be the rock. It's supposed to be stable. But when you have a mechanism like this where not just the Fed, central banks around the world are fulfilling their end game to buy it all, and they couldn't be happier than to have Puppet 1 and Puppet 2 helping them sell their plan to a public that has been so dumbed down. They don't know what to do with themselves anymore, but that's okay too, I suppose. What else would you expect in the society that we live in today? Globally, it's astonishing. No accountability or anything, and that's why people are getting destroyed. Again, they're leading themselves to the slaughter. So you got stock futures this morning down on the back of this great economic news that people are spending more because they have no choice because inflation continues to rise. You really, come on, man. Honestly. Now, with regard to this, let me just go back real quick. This instability that we're seeing here in the debt market and being reflected here, of course, in the MMRI with this incredible spike, I cannot stress to, we're on a hair trigger. We're on a hair trigger and anything can set this off. I believe central banks are looking for more of an excuse to get in here and buy it all. And they are buying it all. Let's talk about that just a little bit more. So this is Forbes from this morning. Gold demand hits a record in Q3, says World Gold Council. Now, I'm going to give you one guess again, and you better get it right. What entities right now are the number one buyer of gold on the planet? Bing, bing, bing. Right again. It's central banks. So I want you to put this together. Central banks right now are issuing their product, debt to the world, at a pace which has never been seen before in history, anywhere. At the same time, central banks are buying gold at a pace never been seen before in history. Do you think that this is just a coincidence here? No, it isn't. Central banks are doing what we've been doing for years. What have I been explaining? What have we covered here on this blog, which literally feels to me like 10,000 years? Bet against the debt. Become your own central bank. So, if you recall, Ben Bernanke was asked why central banks hold gold. Do you remember that? By Ron Paul years and years ago. He said they hold it for tradition. So in your opinion, because you're all smarter than me out here, of course, and that's a fact, central banks buying gold at a record pace. So they're doing this because it's traditional to hold gold at a record pace. Meanwhile, the central banks are issuing their debt, their product to the world, right? Because that's what they want you to believe is happening. Again, it's the trick on Halloween. Make this stuff up. Make any of it up. What have you and I known since forever? They're buying it all. Central banks are solidifying their position as world control. They are the government. Once you realize, again, here in the United States, I've never seen a phenomenon like this in my entire life, where people have been conquered, an absolutely conquered society of brain-dead zombies. You understand? Who cannot come together on a single issue to elicit any kind of change. So they sit there and allow themselves to be strung along via lies and propaganda and deceptions and whatever the freaking thing is going on here. You understand? So what are people getting? They're getting exactly what they're asking for, and that is to be wiped out. It's suicide. I don't know another way to put it. People, especially here in the United States, are committing what I would say is suicide as they're being eliminated. And then they're cheering about it. Listen to the people at Trump's rallies, those brain-dead people. And the rallies of Kamala, those brain-dead people. Cheering for their own demise. All they're looking at is this creature and that creature who are working with the Fed to sell them the Fed's plan to lower rates, currency devaluation, and wipe them out, creating this neo-feudal system. You can't make it up. But that's what's going on here. And it's just an incredible thing to see. I know with all that here, how many of you are surprised to find out that consumer spending is higher? Well, people have no choice. They have to spend more because inflation continues to rise. And, look, I hear from my Eurozone friends all the time, Greg, you think you got it bad there? You got to see what it's like here. And I understand that. And I've said for 1,000 years, it seems that, first of all, understanding that the American population is, in fact, in my opinion, from my observation here, the most completely dumbed down population on the planet. We're also seeing another phenomenon that we said would happen. The United States will fall last. Again, the U.S. dollar remains the world reserve currency. The Fed will slaughter half the population of this country, of this nation, just to make sure that they maintain that status, and the rest of the world too. I have to agree here, and I hate to do this, with the vomitous puke Jamie Dimon, who is fearful that World War III has already begun. It has already begun. And any puppet telling you that they're going to change that after building up the United States military to epic sums and bankrupted us doing it here, I'm talking about Trump here, anyone who telling you they're going to end war, you should understand that the polar opposite is going to happen. It can't be stopped. Presidents don't have that ability here. You understand? Presidents, kings, queens, dictators, and monarchs, they don't run nothing. It's the central banks who run it all. Are we on the same page with this? Anyway, look, what do you want to take away from this? The bond market on an edge, on a knife's edge here. World bonds on edge. This is a worldwide phenomenon. Central banks buying it all, trying to keep rates suppressed. They got to buy more. You have to understand how this has to work here. If this doesn't stop, this whole thing is going to get very real, very, very fast. So just be ready for that, people. What have I been saying? What do we got? 5 days now, I think, something like that, for the selection to take place. All bets are off, man. All bets are off after that day, no matter who is selected. You understand? Just remember to always have the high ground, raise your awareness, and we're not going to stop doing what central banks are doing. They're buying all the gold. Well, guess what? We're going to buy the gold too. More specifically, silver. I think it's much more undervalued based on the Dow gold ratio, gold-silver ratio. You know what I'm talking about if you've been with me for any length of time. But again, what bothers me more than anything is this zero accountability. The brain-dead throngs of people, not you and me, okay? They don't hold anyone to account anymore. All it's about is their guy or their girl winning. There's no winning here. It's a selection. And you have no say-so, because if your vote's counted, you wouldn't be allowed to vote, man. It's an illusion like everything else that we're in here, people. Anyway, so let's see how this plays out. I want you to keep your eyes on this. I know you are. If you're one of my lions out here, this is bad. I can't underscore bad enough. And we really might be on the threshold of something absolutely earth-shattering, a debt market meltdown, which is the key to this entire thing. Wait till you see what happens. This isn't just about the financial markets. When this thing breaks, and it's breaking already, when it really comes apart, there's going to be pandemonium in the streets. People are going to be put at each other's throats. They've already been divided. They've been conquered. They've been taught to hate. That hatred will manifest itself in a very, very ugly way. I think we're on the same page, right? All right, people. And it's all by design. This isn't a comedy of errors or any kind of an accident why this is going on here. Anyway, people, look, man, love you live from the heart. I mean that. Let's just watch the freak show. We got this. No matter what they want to throw at us, I don't even care, man. We're invincible. We got each other. And that's just where it's at, right? All right, with that said, people, this guy, we'll see you later, 4 or 5 p.m. Eastern for the live stream. I'm looking forward to that. Have some questions ready for me. And we'll get, like I said, man, let them play their games. We're going to play ours. We're way smarter than they are. Way smarter than they are. And stronger, because we have unified. This blog is, I would say, 95% unified. Of course, we have the outlying demented trolls. Let them do what they want. Let them comment. Bait them, because they can't help it. I saw a couple of them out. I've been reading through the comments over the past couple of days, and I bait them. It's so easy to bait them, to get them to respond. I love it. I play with them like they're toys. It's very entertaining. All right, I'll see you later, people. As I said, all right, until we meet again, please take care of yourselves and each other.